Hello everyone, I'm welcome to the Hunter Association, your source for all things Hunter x Hunter. My name is Kaige.
And my name is Dylan.
And on this week's episode, we are talking about Hunter x Hunter 1999, episodes 81 and 82. Then, of course, we'll be going through our community comments. If you would like to join in the community and have your comment read, be sure to comment on the YouTube version of weekly community posts. Also, make sure to like and subscribe to help grow our community of Hunter x Hunter fans. Additionally, if you'd like to know when new episodes are live, click the bell to enable notifications. If you're an audio listener, make sure to rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, be sure to follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod, as well as Bluesky at THAPod for podcast-related updates and to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. If you'd like, you can also email us at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. As always, we provided timestamps in the description if you'd like to skip ahead to any of the aforementioned segments. There is no news this week.
Pain,
which
suffering,
is
torture.
Crazy. Yeah, this is the first time in a minute where there's nothing, no updates, nothing.
Just our faces here for you guys this week. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't know. I tried Nen Survivor finally.
What'd you think of that? What's the official manga Cage thoughts on Nen Survivor?
It's all right.
Great, awesome.
It's it's Vampire Survivors. It really is just that, but with Hunter x Hunter characters in it. It's just smaller scale too. Like the levels aren't like an hour long. It's like 5 minutes. So I mean, I'll pick up and play it.
Vampire Survivors.
And like honestly, the gacha element isn't too like prevalent. It's there. It just feels more like skins than anything, because I think you have more than enough stuff just for free to play the game like normal. I don't know. It's fine. It's neat, but I'm not gonna play it a whole lot. I'll probably just turn it on whenever I get the itch, I guess, every once in a while.
Yeah, it's so interesting though to me how like they really push for this like worldwide like simultaneous release thing for this game, as if they were gonna do like a huge marketing push for it, and then I feel like the month leading up to this release, it's just been like radio silence. Like it feels like it's like marketing dropped off a cliff. What happened with that?
Didn't help that they completely flubbed the US launch and had to delay it for like a month or whatever.
That's probably what it was, Yeah.
So. That because I mean honestly, it's been out here for about a month. I just forgot about it, and we're Hunter x Hunter podcast people. If I forget about it, God knows how many other people forgot about that shit.
Yeah, that's a rough one to bounce back from, I think.
Yeah, they're fighting an uphill battle. They dropped Shizuku already, which shows you they're trying their best.
Oh my god, not the Shizuku emergency button.
I tried to play catch up a little bit. I was like looking at the characters that have come out. It's some bizarre choices. They had like Castro on like the first one. Yeah. It's been like they've had like there was like a Netero from the Hunter exams, a Bluesky, Castro, and now we're at Shizuku.
Just the sheer thought of putting Castro in with Netero and Bluesky in the same sentence.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow, that's fascinating.
But yeah, that's Nen Survivor. That's probably the last time I'll ever talk about it on the show, unless it shuts down in a couple weeks. We'll see.
God forbid. But yeah, no news, unfortunately. Aside from that, sad. Yeah. One day.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about these episodes.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Alright everybody, welcome to our discussion on Hunter x Hunter 1999, episodes 81 and 82. Starting off with episode 81, an encounter, Crollo, the Gold Dust Girl. Wow, Crollo in the title. That's like the equivalent of clickbait in the year 2004.
I think it's a little bit more than clickbait. I mean, well, it's not exactly wrong, I guess.
No, but he's, it's not
what you
really
would think.
Yeah.
It's not like if you were watching this fresh and you saw Curl in the title, you'd be like, huh?
Yeah.
Like, rubbing your hands together, like, okay, like,
Here
yeah,
we go.
He's
Finally.
back, the king. Not quite.
No. All right, so we start off with Killua heading back to Greed Island by train. I guess I don't. Where is he even going? Really? I guess back to the console, probably.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Because, like, they made a point to mention that they would end up out of the same console that they went into, right?
Yeah.
I
guess
believe
he
that's how
probably
that
just
works.
went back to wherever Batera keeps the consoles at.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, gets his hunter license and heads back and reunites with Gon. Not for long. He will be leaving again in just a minute or two, but he's here for now.
This part of Greed Island has always seemed like extremely weirdly paced to me when it comes
It's
to stuff like
scatterbrained.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, Togashi just, I don't know. He was going through something.
Every single time it almost reads to me like he put Killua back in and he's like, okay, I just wrapped up everything Killua needed to do, and he's like, wait, I forgot to have him call Karapika. Damn it. Had to write him
Dude,
out
that
again.
is seriously what it feels like. Anyhow, so yeah, they just catch Kilo up on what's going on. They show him all the spell cards they got. And he's like, "Oh, you guys try any?" They're like, "No, not really. Tried one of them. Blackout Curtain. What is that one? Let me see here. Blackout Curtain is a spell card found on Green Island. It allows player to protect themselves from peak or fluoroscopy cast on them. Okay, so it's just like a you can't see their cards.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Nice. So he's like, all right, let's try contact. Not actually use it, but we'll just see like who we've encountered so far. So they do so, and they get to see a whole player list, and they spot amongst the names Crollo Lucilfer.
Uh-oh. Red
Whoa.
flag.
Yeah. And of course, they take this as an opportunity to show Crollo again, aura farming, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool shot, honestly.
Leads to like an interesting like conversation though about like was there any possibility that like you saw him in this game going? And he's just
right.
Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, not to my knowledge. So,
but it leads to a really funny bit though of like they're just like talking all about Crollo and how like he's a huge deal that they're seeing him in this name list, and Bluesky the entire time is just like who is this guy's? Like, can you fill me in, please, pretty please? And then they just don't.
No,
and then
never.
I sent Kaige this screenshot to specifically put in the video version of this episode because it's too good not to include. But this eventually leads into the classic bit of like Bluesky like knocking them both into the sky, because they just weren't listening to her, and they're drawn as little like stick figures in the air for this one. I was like belly laughing at that one. I don't know what it was about it.
No, I love how that is drawn. It's so funny. There's another moment later, a comedic moment that's drawn in a funny way. And I love how fast they spin in the sky, too. It's so funny.
It was like they literally just like drew stick figures in like 2 seconds, and then they like just keyframe rotating the PNGs over and over again.
Yeah, I love it.
Love it.
It's really funny.
It's extremely simple shit like that that's all you need in little animations like this. I appreciate it when it comes up.
So then they do off screen, they do catch her up on what's going on, what they're talking about, and she goes on to tell them like, well, Nen can actually be removed. Nen exorcists do exist, although in the subs it's called Geonen.
Geonen. Yeah. I don't know. Huh.
That is a term I have never heard before, but she is just talking about Nen exorcists, a concept that is widely known. I guess that's the Japanese name for that. I don't know.
Doesn't really hurt anything, but it
No.
it caught my eye too. I was like, I don't know if I've ever heard that term like actually like said before.
Yeah. But she says they're like incredibly rare. Barely any exist. But they start to wonder like, maybe Crollo's here to try to find one, or maybe he already got it done, and he's he can use Nen again.
Yeah, many questions to be had now, seeing his name in there. So it could be anything.
So Killua then is just like literally 2 minutes after you got back in the game, he's like, all right, I'm gonna head out and tell Kurapika. See ya. Cool.
See you in a bit. Again.
Then we cut to the troop again, and I mean, this scene is ultimately kind of nothing. It's Shalnark once again yapping.
Okay, but it was very funny how, like, he said one sentence, and then Franklin was like, hey, quit snickering and explain. Like, let's stop horror farming over here.
Yeah.
Because he's just, like, laughing to himself, like, oh, haha, that's how it is. Okay, yeah. Like, I want to stuff you in a locker so bad, bro.
Dude, I hate this guy. How does he have fans? I just don't understand. But that's the benefit of having Franklin in the cast now. Even though he's not long for this world, he is here to shut Shalnark up, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he just explains that, so look, Crollo's in the book, so he's here. He got his Nen removed. Look at that, guys. Wow, he did it. He talks about how, like, the Greed Island is, like, east of Yorknew. So, and his fortune said head east. So they're like, oh, look at that. Wow, I'm smart.
Yeah, so it's like he likely got onto the island and then got, like, kicked out by Razor also, and so now his name is, like, in the system or something.
Yep. And then Hisoka comes out of the shadows and says, nope, that's not true. Basically. I'm here, actually. And so, okay, his voice. Did he, like, forget how to play the character or something?
I thought it sounded a little different than I remembered it, but I wasn't sure if I was just, like, hearing shit.
He's like hamming it up to an unbelievable level. Like, it sounded like this before, but this sounds like a parody of the voice he was doing. It's just so over the top. Like, if that was my native language, I would barely even be able to understand what he's saying. There's so many, like, cracks in his voice. It's so bizarre. Didn't really care for it, to be honest, and I've previously liked his performance in the past, but this did not work.
I mean, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt when he's, like, actually properly on screen and says more than like 2 sentences, but it was something, all right, for sure. Like, I definitely noticed the difference, but I couldn't tell in the moment if I was just, like, crazy or not.
Also, I don't know if it's just, like, the way it's colored or the way it's drawn, but his outfit has, like, no sauce at all. It looks so bland. It's just, like...
Well, because it's, like, blank, right? There's, like, no designs on it.
Yeah, it's nothing on it. It just looks so boring. Anyway, he's just kind of taunting the troop. And, Shalnark ends up figuring, like, oh, okay. So, Crollo sent him in his place to... presumably find an exorcist.
Mm-hmm. And in exchange, they'll fight eventually.
Yeah. Eventually is the key word there.
And One day. Still haven't seen it animated.
No, we haven't. Isn't that crazy? Wow.
What a time to be alive.
It really is. And that's that. That's the end of the troop for now. And basically forever. We'll see them again later, but nothing major. It's so funny. Their involvement in this arc is just absolutely hilarious. I don't know what Togashi's... There was definitely a plan in mind when he put them in this arc, and then at some point he was just like, never mind.
Yeah, we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Anyhow, Kurapika does call Killua does call Killua does call Kurapika. So we see him again. He looks good. I mean, it's only been like 8 episodes since we've seen him, but there he is. His official final appearance, by the way. This is it.
This will be it.
Farewell.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the end.
But the context of this conversation... Scene. Yeah. It is interesting. The context of this being Killua was just like, hey, like, just letting you know we see Crollo's name in here. Like, something might be up with him. He might have his, like, Nen abilities, like, where he might be trying to get his, like, Nen curse, removed, basically, right? And
Mm-hmm.
Kurapika's like, he's like, well, that's like only natural to assume. Like, if powerful men can be, cursed onto somebody, there's obviously going to be ways to like remove that also. So like, it's almost
Yeah.
like he anticipated it to a degree, which was it's always such an interesting thing to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just totally no sells it after like. It's so crazy how it hasn't been that long. Well, actually, in the world, it has been a while. They've been in Greed Island for like a year at this
Something
point,
like that,
which
yeah.
is crazy. But
Months at least.
yeah, at
But
least a long time. But anyways, yeah, Karapika's mindset is just totally different, and obviously that will carry into when we really see him again later, and we still really don't know a lot about why he is the way he is currently.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so interesting. But yeah, he hangs up the phone after pretty much no selling everything he says. Like, yeah, I mean, whatever, it's no big deal. I would know if he actually had it removed. But then, yeah, Melody approaches and says nothing. I think they just couldn't get the voice actress to come back for the one
Yeah.
line.
You can see the mouth flapping and everything.
Yeah.
There's just literally nothing coming out.
And like, fair enough, it's one line, but then they get Neon for a line in a second. So like, I don't know. I guess she just wasn't available, but it is a little distracting. So we do pass by Neon while they're walking, and yeah, she's just talking about how her ability's not working. Interesting. And then we see Light, who is just a mess. Like, his life is over. He's before Karapika can even like say any. Oh, actually, he was called for. Apparently, he actually says, "You called for me" whenever he walks in. I forgot about that. But anyway, he's literally just like asking, "What do I even do?" This guy who is brand new to your life, pretty much, that you've just like shot up the ranks. You're just now putting your full faith in him to basically lead the family.
Yeah. And it extends to him just being like, yeah, like quickly get her back to normal. Please fix this. Please, Kurapika. Please, please, please. Like, shout out to the voice actor for like doing this.
Oh,
by
yeah.
the way, he really sold like how like insane he's become now at the prospect of his daughter no longer making him as much money as she was before.
Yeah. Yeah, he is completely disheveled. He's losing his mind. He doesn't know what to do. It's just so crazy to see him like this. I've always been really interested in this scene, and that's all we get of it, really. It's just we get this really insane Light while Karapika's like, all right, let's
He's
figure
like
this
stone
out.
cold faced the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's been dealing with this for a bit now, evidently.
Yeah. What happened? Man, I don't know. And apparently Neon's dead. So, I don't know. I still don't know if I believe that, but
Yeah, I'm not sure if I entirely believe that also, but that's our assumption at the moment.
Yeah.
Current period time.
yeah. So that's it. That is officially the end of Karapika in 1999. Farewell. Good job.
You were, for the most part, done an insane amount of justice compared to everybody else.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're back to Greed Island, where we are just seeing Kilo reunite with the group. And he reports that, like, I mean, yeah, the Crollo in the game, more than likely not actually Crollo. We'll figure it out later.
Mm-hmm.
And then they practice their Nen abilities after that. Well, primarily Gon is just practicing his stuff. He's trying to throw out, I think, paper or something, right?
Yeah, Bisky tells him to show Killua what he's been working on, basically, since
Yeah.
he's been gone, and
Right.
shoots out a tiny little ore ball in paper.
Yep.
Yeah. Killua's just like, that's it, man. That's all you got. Well, he shows scissors also, and he cuts like a tiny twig,
Yeah.
And this made me laugh too, though. He's like, that's all. Like, you just now succeeded this. He's like, no, this is my 5th time succeeding this actually.
Yeah. I do really like this interaction because this also devolves into Killua criticizing like the startup of the attack.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta say first comes rock every single time and then call it. Isn't that like gonna ruin the element of surprise?
I like how Gon is just like, well, or Killua's like, yeah, no, what if they attack you while you're saying that? And Gon's just like, I'll just dodge it, man.
Yeah. Basically, Gon is just like nut-ing everything he says.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I don't know if they do this like part little bit in the manga also, just like poking fun at like the startup line.
I think I don't really remember, but
okay. But I mean, either way,
something that would be there.
Either way, I think it's a really like funny way to just poke at like a typical shonen trope though, in like a little lighthearted way. Because like it ultimately really does not matter, but so making a little comedic bit out of it and just kind of showcasing a bit of personality from the boys in the process, I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
And Gon's voice actor, by the way, like when it comes to these comedic bits, like I'm really like whoever's voicing him in 1999, I forget the name, unfortunately, but they do a really good job at like emphasizing that like childishness from him in these moments, which I appreciate.
Yeah, it's Junko Takeuchi.
There we go.
Naruto. That's Naruto. You'd love Naruto, Dylan. You gotta check it out.
One day.
Love this, you will love Naruto.
One day, surely.
So yeah, now Bluesky just tells them like, all right, let's focus on clearing the game, pretty much. So that moves us. Oh, by the way, there's also before we transit. Well, actually, during the transition, literally, there's a cool transition where it's like a Greed Island card.
Yes.
It just like flips around in space, and then we move to another scene. That was cute. I liked that.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what you think about that because this isn't the first time they're gonna be doing this transition. Also, they're gonna be doing this pretty much every time they transition over to like obtaining a different card.
Yeah.
Which is just interesting to me. It looked a little like it looked experimental for the time at the very least, just having a transition like that. I've noticed in starting with this episode especially because like it wasn't quite using like a 3D like animation like effect like on that card flip. But there's a couple of other moments within these two episodes we're talking about today where it is kind of like giving off that vibe where it just is straight up like 3D animation. So I just thought it was like interesting to have them experimenting with that in an OVA series specifically.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that 3D moment later. We'll get to it anyway. So their first thing is this big tree. They gotta hit it really hard and knock out a bunch of bugs, and they got to find the white stag beetle. Mm-hmm. So, the moral of the story is Gon takes up the play. The guy's like, oh, I got this big-ass hammer you can use. And he's like, oh, nope, I'm good, thanks. I'll just punch it really hard. He does that and just rains bugs. By the way, also, it looks like shit. Whenever he hits it, there's this outward shot of the tree just, like, shaking. That looked awful. My god.
It looked bad. And also the punch itself, I'm not a huge fan of the way they transitioned into it too, because he did the, like first comes rock, paper, rock, right? But like before the punch, he does lands the rock and then it transitions next frame into him punching the tree. And it just looked so unnatural. Like you're not doing that into that like that makes no sense choreography wise.
It really didn't make any sense. Because they do this weird thing with like imagery of a wrecking ball too, which I actually think might have been present in the manga. I vaguely remember that, but it just looks kind of whack here. Anyhow,
was off.
They find 3 white stag beetles. They each get one, and he tells the dude that like I was holding back too because I didn't want to damage the tree.
And they show a weird like frame of him of like the pipe dropping to the ground. What the hell is that supposed to signify?
Just to show shock, but it just kind of came across as like random.
But like you can read that as like dude, the dude just like disappeared. Like he just died in front of them.
He just died. I love that read of it. Gon told him that he just died immediately. Became a force ghost.
Like if you want to show it as like a shock, like representation of shock, like show his face at least when the pipe is dropping from his mouth. That's a really weird way to go about it, I think.
It's awesome. So yeah, then they They try to get more white stag beetles, but they realize they can only have one each. Nice.
Nice.
Then we transition to another thing where there's a girl imprisoned in a mansion. This is supposed to be like a big ordeal, but Killua, while they're talking to the guard outside, Killua just like off screens the whole thing and just walks out with the girl.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, I found her. She was in like a hidden room in the 4th level basement."
Yeah, and the guy's like, "How'd you get through all the booby traps?" And he's like, "I thought those were attractions." It's funny. And then he sends him flying in a, classic Togashi, like, low effort drawing way, which I like. So yeah, they turn her into a card and carry on. That's that one. The girl, Gold Dust Maiden, which is in the title of the episode for some reason. I don't really know why.
And
it's such a small part of the episode.
An entire section of the episode title for like 2 minutes worth of content, if that.
Then they carry on to what is this one? This just is like a montage.
I think it is.
I don't even remember what this is actually. They get some more cards. Yeah, okay. They get a few more cards, including the Risky Dice card. That's the important part.
Risky Dice, the Lucky Alexandrite, right? Also.
Oh, do they get that here?
I think so. Or like the Paladin's Necklace, maybe, is what it is. I one of the two. I don't remember. I'm like horrifically bad with Greed Island cards.
Yeah,
at this point in the series.
Even though we did a whole episode on them.
Well, because it's okay. It's like half my fault, but like also like this is the part of the series where they introduce so many different names of these cards all at once that they all kind of blend together. So, sorry.
So okay, they enter a the tournament. They enter a tournament first. Which is, it's so brief. It's like I literally just skimmed over it while skimming through the episodes. It's so fast, but that's where they get Paladin's Necklace, which is a very important item.
Yes.
Then they go to another shop and trade for something. I don't know. They end up with 3 more cards: Witch's Love Potion, Memory Helmet, Risky Dice. Those are the 3 cards they get from something.
Yeah,
I think it's a raffle or something.
Yeah. No, they do some kind of like tournament thing or something. I don't know, because right before that they do a weird ass like montage thing of them like doing punches and kicks while a card is like flipping around in the background. And that part of the episode, I don't know what is happening there, if I'm being completely honest. It does not read well to me in how they're showcasing this.
Greed Island pacing moment. Anyhow,
but that's how they get the cards, yeah.
Yeah, they got those 3 cards. Risky Dice is the only one that matters. So then we move into the casino, and you know how it goes. They see that there's a card, a specified slot card they can get here. Got to get all 7s. So Killua has the bright idea to roll the Risky Dice, which is a dice that has, I think, 1 in 20 odds to be bad.
Like very bad.
Yeah, very bad. Like you'll probably die.
Yeah.
I think you will die, in fact. So he does that. You get 777s. Carry on. New card. The Rainbow Diamond. Why didn't Bluesky want that one? That's like way cooler, in my opinion.
Yeah, what the hell? Like she's fake, I think. Fake stone lover.
Low key, yeah, fake stone fan. So then he gets kind of like a gambling high from this. He's like, it's just a 5% chance. What could go wrong? And then in the distance, a slot machine blows up as they hear some like NPC chatter about how he got like 5 jackpots in a row, and then it blew up. But that still doesn't stop Killua. He's a gambler. So he just goes to the casino and wins a couple more times. And
well, no, he was but this was before also that they. Okay, so this is where the timeline happened. Okay, my bad. Yeah, so Killua said, it's only a 5% chance. What could possibly go wrong? And that's when the slot machine blows up. And it was like, he was using it like a dice. Like, what happened there, Or there was a dice found alongside the machine. And that's when Killua was like, oh, I see. That could happen. And then he goes gambling.
Yep. And then he goes gambling. He wins like 2 more times or something, and then he's gonna go. He's about to do it again, but then Bluesky like chops his neck, and he stops. And I love the way this frame is drawn. It's my favorite moment in the whole episode because Bluesky just has this expression that's like. She's like smiling, but she has like the angry notation on her head. It just looks so funny. I don't know. I love that expression.
Yeah, I can get a screenshot from the little like YouTube version of this that I'm referencing. Even I can put in the chat for you later to edit into the actual episode. But it's so funny. Yeah,
It's great. I love it. That's pretty much where the episode ends. They carry Kilo out unconscious and head on. So yeah, I mean, it's a fun episode. I had a good time watching it. Like, I didn't hate it.
It was very inoffensive.
Yeah.
It was just. I mean, you could boil down the entire episode. It was just a little card collection montage with the trio, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
it was fun. It was fun enough. Nothing crazy happened this episode. Nothing, mind blowing. Crollo, you did get clickbaited by Crollo, I guess, if you're a first time watcher. But it's I don't know. Yeah, it was just a fine episode. I think it was some very lighthearted moments in there that I really liked. And just it was, aside from some weird sections that was just like really hard to follow. It was mostly enjoyable, and even those parts I think are just problems of the source material more than anything, rather than the actual adaptation itself. So yeah. I can look past it for judging, like for the purpose of judging the anime specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was, again, this is a pretty rough part of the source material in general, and they do a good job, I think. Like, it's not consistent. Obviously, this is a much cheaper production than what we're used to with this series, and you can feel that a lot, especially in these 2 episodes. It definitely feels like a very budget thing. It reminds me a lot of, I recently, or semi-recently, actually it's kind of been a while, but I watched the Eyes OVAs not too long ago, and these remind me a lot of how those were animated and how they just looked and felt, which, they're both OVAs, but they're also... I assume Eyes was probably a much more low budget production than this, but I don't know. Maybe a similar budget.
Maybe.
Anyhow, that's it. It was a fine episode. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. Just whatever. It's Great Island.
Yep. I'm pretty much in the same boat.
That brings us to episode 82, Contact Razor, A United Front. Here we go. We're getting somewhere. We're getting the good stuff.
Yeah. Slowly but surely.
Yeah, we're getting there. So, we open with Gen through. Let's go.
Oh, what are the goons doing? What's the polycule up to?
The polycule is dropping a really ugly-looking 3D die into a man's hand.
There we go, yeah.
Looked dreadfully bad. Holy.
This is like... You could tell this was like the hip new technology that emerging from the shadows at the time, Like, oh my god, it looked bad.
Really bad.
The shot specifically of like the dice dropping into the guy's hand, you know what I'm talking about there? Oh yes. My god, it like stands out like a sore fucking thumb.
It is awful looking. I was stunned when I saw that.
It makes
me of the time.
It makes me really that's the kind of moment that makes me think about how like CG and like 3D animation are used in a lot of like modern anime, and go like, wow, this like we've come such a long way. Like those look seamless compared to this shit. It's crazy.
We've come a long way. God. Okay, so the gist of this is that they are having this guy roll risky dice over and over again until they get the card they want. It never happens, though. They don't get the card they want, so they just kind of keep leading this poor guy on. And, like, The genuine terror in this guy is really well portrayed, I will say. Like,
Yeah.
and I would be too, man. Every time you roll, you could be dead. And then on top of that, there's an additional luck thing where if the card you get isn't it, that means you got to roll again. So it's just a constant cycle of being. I would pass out, bro. I wouldn't even be able to handle this. This is so stressful.
Grade A torture scheme right here. Like,
Literally,
it's ridiculous.
yeah.
Like, the
It's
psychological
awful.
torment is off the charts. So
Yeah.
I mean, they did a good job portraying that, I will admit.
Yeah, they did. I thought this was a pretty good scene. But eventually, there's a nice power of friendship moment with our polycule where Genthru takes the die into his own hands and is like, "My fellow brothers, we will die together if we have to for our cause." And rolls the die himself. What a hero. What a hero.
Yeah, well, he's so brave, dude.
Wow.
What
And
a
I love how, like,
hero.
both Sub and Bar are like, "Nah, we'll do it, Genthru. We got you, bro. We got it." And then he does it, and they're like, "No, Genthru, no. How could you? Don't do it." They love him so much. It's such a beautiful friendship.
They're true believers in Genthru. It's yeah. Well, together forever with these three.
For real. So beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we got of them for the time. Actually, no, it's not. We'll be back to them in one scene exactly. So we cut to Gon again, Gon and the others. You know who they are. Some no names. I don't know. I forget who they are. They are talking about something.
They're looking over all the cards they have, and they have like a total of 60 cards, 51 of which are different from each other. And Killa was just stating, "Yeah, like we did a good job, but the real challenge starts here because we've been like ignoring other players up until now, and we're gonna have to interact with them to get more cards."
Yeah. And I think this is also where he points out that they're all like A and B rank cards. No S ranks yet.
Yeah, which is why it's like if we want to get those higher rarity cards, we're
Yeah.
gonna have to interact with other people. We're transitioning from the single player game into the MMO part of the game now.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it. And we immediately get an example of this by seeing Genthru meet up with Sesgera. It's been a minute since we've seen him, but he's back.
Mm-hmm.
In the first shot we see him in, he's drawn with so little effort, it's actually hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my god. They were crunched for time, so they're like, hey, let's bring the janitor in to draw this frame. I got no other options.
Even the way like the mouth flaps happened, like in that drawing, was just like, wow, like we're that like bad on the budget, huh?
Yeah, that was not a great cut. So they have a trade. It's like, I don't know, a bunch of nonsense cards for. He says Gara brings 3 cards to the table while they're getting 1 from Genthru.
Yeah, they
Night Jade is what Genthru has.
Mm.
And then it's Miniature Dragon, Spirited Oi Hollow, and Patch of Forest is what Sesgera is giving in exchange.
Yeah, 3 for 1. It's a lot of value on the table, it seems like.
But
not that it'll matter.
nope, not at all. It's like, yeah, Sesgera's like, all right, trade's complete, right on. And then Genthru's like, oh, you think so? And the boys, the polycule, pop out of the shadows and use steel to take, or thief to take.
Don't forget they rolled the dice first.
Sorry, yes, they roll the dice first, and then they're like, yeah, let's go. And then they steal thief and get a bunch of cards.
Okay, so 2 things. One, before also with that, one, the dice was also 3D when they rolled it, which looked like shit again. Yeah, they 3D dice. They refuse to go away from that for any of these scenes. And 2, it looked so fucking goofy how they popped out of the ground. Also, it literally was just like there was no like opening or like seamless there was no like seamless animation of them like appearing from literally underground. It was just dirt exploding and all of a sudden they're like through the ground as if they just like layered PNGs together like for that animation.
Awesome.
Looked awful.
Love it.
I needed to point that out.
Yeah, it's peak, man. It's peak. So yeah, then they after doing this move, they use return and go to Masadora. So then Sesgera is just left with checking out what cards they took with all the boys. They got a bunch of stuff stolen. I don't know. I'm not gonna name all the cards they got stolen,
No. But specifically
important
cards
ones.
that they were trying to monopolize. Also.
Yes. So they got really lucky because of risky dice.
Yeah.
So then his guys are like, well, let's just follow him. Let's try to get him back. And then Sesgera's like, no, guys, he's the bomber. What?
What?
Dude, holy shit. Oh my
He's
God.
so smart, dude. Oh my God.
Yeah, and then like his way of figuring it out sort of makes sense, I suppose. Like it's basically just like he's the only one left from the group
Yeah.
that
Wow.
died. Like, all right, I guess, sure.
Yeah. Fair enough. Fair assumption at the very least, you know.
Yeah, I would probably follow him personally. I don't know. Isn't he a double star hunter?
Yes.
Bro, you can take him, I promise. Whatever. Sesgera kind of sucks. He just has like no faith in his own abilities.
I mean, and it shows too. Do you recall a single moment of which he's done anything of substance in this arc?
Nope, nothing.
Yep. He's just kind of there to yap about cards. That's it.
Yeah.
That's our double star hunter, everybody.
That's our goat. So now they're just trying to strategize, figure out another card to monopolize, I think.
Yeah, and then they come to the conclusion like, well, they currently no player has number 2, Subo of Coast specifically. So we're still fine. They're not gonna win the game like anytime soon still, but we should get number 2 before they do, since nobody has it yet.
Yes. Okay, so after that we see Genthru and the boys again, the Polycule. Just this episode is a lot of people talking about what cards they have.
Yeah, if that wasn't obvious enough.
That's what this is. They're just talking about what cards they have and what to go for next, and they also determine that they need Subo of the Coast.
Yeah, which Genthru says that'll be the bottleneck. That'll be what actually takes some effort. But so with that in mind, he's like, okay, well, let's get like 3 other cards, and then once we have those, we'll go after Subo of the Coast.
Yes, which I don't know what that is called in like the manga and 2011, but it's not that. I can't remember the title of that card, but it's definitely not that.
Mm-hmm. And then they make it, yeah. And then they make it a point also where Submar's like, well, what about number 75, Lucky Alexandrite? Like that'll be a weird one. And then Genthu's just like, okay, whoever has that one, we just kill them and steal it. Shows how afraid they are of attaining that one, I guess.
I guess so. Cut to Gon and the boys and one girl who are doing a deal with somebody else, and he tries to scam them, but Gon's paladin necklace reveals that it was not the card they were wanting, so he just kind of panics and gives them the real one and then runs away.
I like Killua being like the bouncer in this situation.
Yeah.
he's just like, get back over there, man.
Yeah. That's funny. I like that. And then Gon, after having used Paladin's necklace, just thinks to himself, like, I wonder, like, if this would work on the sick villagers we saw before. And Kilo's just like, oh, it's worth a shot. Let's check it out.
Kind of reluctantly also, they kind of stole his clothes back then.
Yeah. So they head back there, and I wonder. I don't think it's ever really said, but I wonder if to trigger this part of it, if they had to do like the whole giving them money and clothes and stuff bit, or if they could have just done this immediately.
It reads like it because it sounded like they like needed their consent to be turned in the cards.
Right.
And their
yeah.
reasoning also was like, well, you gave us everything that you had, so like we trust you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's probably why this quest hasn't been cleared by like anybody.
It's very convoluted requirements to be met.
Yeah.
Obviously. This is the type of quest you'd see in a video game you need like a guide for, like 100%.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like you would never figure it out.
So that's what I like about this though. This is like one of the most video gamey things in all of Greed Island, this whole quest line. I really like it. But yeah, they go back there and yeah, exactly as Dylan said, they ask for like consent to put your lives in our hands. I'm like, all right, so they all turn into cards and then go and puts the cards up to the pendant. And the sick villager cards become happy villager cards. And then they return and they give them an award, being the Lucky Alexandrite.
Yeah.
There it
all of a sudden that plan from Genthru for that one looking like a little not good. He has a target on his back now.
Yep, that's a big one. I mean,
that was gonna be the case anyways because nobody else has this card. Apparently. So
apparently, yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
So they then they're walking away. Oh, this is where they mentioned that they only have A and B rank cards, but whatever, doesn't matter. Then somebody calls them on the phone, and it is Kasul, who is Kazuluru in our subs.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
Kasul is, it reminds them who he is. First of all, he's the guy that stole their what was it? What card?
Sword of Truth.
Yeah. Cool. Major character. Basically, he wants to meet up with them to discuss the fact that Genthru like is about to clear the game. They gotta stop him somehow.
The Bobmer. He's a little on the loose right now.
Yeah,
making moves.
Dangerously close. Yeah, I think it's like 92 cards at this point or something like that.
Yeah, he's only missing like 5 or 6 cards or something like that, if that.
Yeah. So he calls them to a meeting spot, which is, I don't know, like 5 kilometers from Masador or something. Who cares? And then a bunch of other people show up, a bunch of other groups. And it's, again, a lot of talking about what cards they have and whatnot. To which eventually the girl won. I think it's literally the only girl here, which is insane. Oh, no, there's 2. There's 2 girls in that
2.
same squad. Yeah. She pipes up and she's like, all right, I'm down to team up, but like, why do we have 3 brats here? What is this shit? And Kasul explains like, well, I mean, you said that the requirements have to be at least 50 cards, and they have 50 cards. So, I mean, what's the deal? What's the problem? And she's just not seeing the benefit in working with 3 children.
Yeah, she's like, I don't care. Like the cards, I don't care about. It's the fact that they are literally children.
Yeah, like, and fair enough. To be honest, I would probably question it too. But I mean, if they have 50 cards, they gotta be good. So
yeah, like, how are they of benefit to us? Basically, like that's what she's questioning.
Yeah, and then we have a really cool Killua scene that I quite enjoy, where he just kind of gets serious and he starts. What would be the word for this?
Negotiating.
I sort of semi-negotiating, yeah.
But it's like a tactical kind of thing because he's definitely using this to their advantage to like get some more cards under their belt also. And he does that by leading into it with like, well, 1, we have a card that they need. And then 2, we have information on his abilities also, which nobody else does, obviously. So
yeah. And
so that specifically, she's like, oh, like, okay, I see now.
Yeah.
And then this goes into a really like cool segment where like now they're negotiating of like, what Killua wants from her in order to actually give out this information.
And what I like is that like after she expresses interest in the information, he turns the question back around on her and is like, well, Okay, what do you bring to the table? I need to know you're not useless. That's cool.
And she offers, she's like, well, I'll give you some like A rank cards, and he's like, no, we're
Nope.
strong enough for A ranks. Like, I need at least 2 S's.
Yeah. I love that. That's so cool. And like,
Even
yeah, he's absolutely right. Like, it's not like they were capped out at 50. They were still working on this right now. They just got cut off. They can go get whatever cards she was going to give them, like, right now if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. And eventually she caves in. She's like, okay, like, here, damn, cough it up now.
Yep. So then Gon explains Genthru's abilities, and this prompts a scene similar to what happened when Genthru explained it himself, where people are realizing, like, oh shit, he got me already.
Must be
Including
a
the
terrifying thought to like have though in the moment, like, oh, like I already have a bomb planted on me, technically.
girl. Yeah, for real.
But like it's this is so funny though, because like it's kind of like a framed as like a serious thing, like, oh my god, like he talked to me earlier, like this is crazy. And Killa's immediate reaction is like, more cards for me.
I love that, yeah.
Little schemer, dude. I love him.
Yeah. Also, I looked it up. Subo of the Coast, in most translations, what you probably know it as, is called Plot of Beach.
There we go.
That's the more common name.
I thought that sounded off as I was reading it, so sorry if that confused any of you as we were calling it that.
That's probably what you'll know it as. So anyways, yeah, they, after, everybody's proven themselves, they're all on board, like, all right, let's do this. They realize that the best card to go for, which is what everybody else is going for right now, but whatever, it is called the Plot of Beach, and they are going to set their target for that. So one of the people uses guideposts to take them there, or to guide them there. Which brings them to somewhere. Sofrabi. That's the name of this town.
Yeah, Sofrabi.
Sofrabi. And they do some information gathering and find out that there's from this girl who actually has a really nice design. Runs like a fish stand or something, but she looks cool. Talks about how there's a bunch of pirates settled in this village that are kind of run the show, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They apparently have like a treasure that they're hiding or guarding. Razor and the 14 Devils. So they then go to I guess like a bar that the pirates have taken refuge in. And a big boy approaches. Who does he have a name? Let's see. No.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh wait, does he? Wait, who is this? Yeah, oh he does. Bopobo. Bopobo.
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, that's a weird name. Holy shit. Anyway, he approaches and he's like, talking shit. What are you doing on our turf? Yada yada, tough guy shit. Mm-hmm. You've heard this dialogue probably thousands of times throughout your time on this earth. Mm-hmm. He throws out a bunch of alcohol around him in a ring perfectly somehow, which is more impressive than anything he will ever do.
Actually,
in the next few minutes.
Perfect circle.
Perfect circle.
No. And somehow the liquid is not like expanding like past this like perfect ring that is formed. Also, it's fascinating in the world of anime, huh?
And as we know from later, this isn't even an NPC. This is actually like a real dude. So this isn't like a scripted event. He actually can do that, I guess. Maybe that's his Nen ability. He can make a perfect circle of alcohol.
Maybe.
So he does that, and he lights it on fire. And then he offers a challenge, like, step in this ring, knock me out of it, and we'll take you to our base.
Sumo match.
Yep. So then this guy named Zeho
Sure.
Pulls up. He's like, I got this one. Don't worry, guys. And then he hulks up. He looks so veiny, it's actually ridiculous. Holy shit. And he steps into the ring and pretty much frame one just gets bear hugged by this guy and is like screaming for help. Like, bro, stop, please.
Yeah, he will not let go. He was in a rough spot.
Dude, this guy. Oh my god. He was
Yeah.
really going through the ringer.
But then gets saved with Gon intervening. But I gotta say, it was like the weirdest transition into like this guy getting like kicked by Gon, because you see like the imprint of his face get smashed in from like Gon's like foot hitting him in the face, but you don't actually see Gon's foot connecting with his face. It just the impact just kind of appears, and Gon is all of a sudden like in the air in the ring.
Yep.
What the fuck was that about?
It looked really awful. Whack. But then after Gon does that, he lands outside of the ring. So Bopobo is like, I mean, you lost. You went in the ring and then you walked out of it. So that's it. So Gon's just like asking for one more round. Let me try again. And Bopobo actually does say like, all right, I don't mind. But Killua stops him and steps in the ring instead, because he tells him that you're probably going to use your ability to do this, and you do not want to do that in front of a crowd. That's a bad idea.
You don't want to do that. I don't know if you're going to win without doing that. Bisky's not going to fight. She's useless. So I'm just going to go and kick this guy.
Yeah, I love how Bisky's written out of this by just she's too lost in her role play of being a helpless girl. I love that so much. So he steps in, and is acting all cocky. And so this is what confused me a little bit. Does he not also leave the ring to grab that bottle of alcohol? Or is that within the ring? It looked like he left the ring.
It looked like he left the ring also, but I don't fucking know, man.
I guess it doesn't matter anymore. I don't know. Whatever. So he gets the bottle of alcohol, dumps it on Bopobo, and then lights it on fire with a little bit of electricity, which is brutal. So his head is just fully on fire, screaming, and he eventually just rolls out of the ring, and that's it.
Good job, Killua.
Good job. Bopobo then gets back up and is just pissed off, so he runs at Killua and is then kicked by one of his fellow pirates. It's just like, I mean, you made a deal. Let's go.
Yep. I'll take you to him.
Yep. And that's where they go. They head to the whatever this is, like an abandoned factory, I think, right?
The abandoned lighthouse, I think is what it is.
Oh, is it? Okay. Then yeah,
maybe it's a factory though. I don't know, or it was a factory renovated into a lighthouse or something like that. I don't know. Whatever, abandoned place. Doesn't really matter.
It really doesn't. So they get there and they see, once they're inside, they see it's a gym. They like renovate it completely into a gym. And this is where we get our first look at Sweaty Razor, and the sweat and like wetness of the clothing is animated with a lot of care.
Like a lot of care.
Yeah, it looks like really good, which is an odd thing to say about what I'm looking at, but it does look good.
They did put a lot of effort into the sweat stains on his shirt. I have to give it that.
And that's that episode. We get Razor. There he is. I mean, we've seen him before, but now we're in the real Razor part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting. I'm looking forward to this.
Next match will be very interesting to talk about, because I'm assuming it'll be almost all of the Razor stuff just as a whole in those two episodes. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. So this episode on its own, it's not the best. It's a lot, as we said a few times, this is a lot of people talking about what cards they have. That is like the theme of this episode.
So my thing is, it's not only that, but I think this was a really rough episode animation-wise also.
Visually it was.
Yeah,
it was.
It
did not look good.
I can only assume might get even worse on the downswing as we go through the rest of this OVA series, which is disheartening to say the least, if that's the case. But yeah, this was a rough one for sure, production wise. But I mean, it was fine enough to watch through. It wasn't like anything like horrifically bad, but you can tell like that there's just a lot of rough looking parts of this episode, and it doesn't flow as well as you would like. But that's mostly a problem again of the source material, I think. So it kind of is what it is there.
Yeah, it does. Like, this episode weirdly ends up kind of feeling like a Frankenstein stitched together a bunch of scenes together. It barely has like any kind of through line other than
Yes,
plot of beach, I guess, is kind of a through line.
but that's for the last like 25% of the episode.
Yeah.
If that, so it's a little hard to give that like points, I guess.
It has its moments, but on the whole, yeah, I think this was a pretty rough episode, especially visually. I mean, we got a lot of 3D dye here, 3D dice here, and
the polycule popping out of the ground, like just kind of instantaneously.
Yeah, the going phantom kick.
Yeah, Killua leaving the ring, even though that's like how you lose the match. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that especially makes like the guy coming in after and stopping Bopopo feel like shit, because like his whole point is like, well, you followed your rules, you made a deal, but Killua actually broke the rules to win. So I mean,
yeah,
Bopopo's kind of right, to be honest, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. Little things like that just kind of added up a lot throughout this episode for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It was forgettable. That's kind of this whole batch, to be honest. It was just
unfortunately.
whatever. It's not like the most exciting part. There were some fun moments for sure, but it's all like comedic stuff. There's nothing too substantial in terms of anything like serious, I guess, if you want to call it that.
I guess, yeah. Not that everything needs to be serious also,
No.
but like this is just one of the more forgettable parts of the arc in general, so it doesn't really help.
But it brings us into the most memorable part of the arc, at least, so I'm excited to see how these next few episodes are handled.
Absolutely, yeah.
And given how many episodes we have left, by the way, I have to imagine it'll last probably beyond the next two. It'll probably be like 3 or 4 at least.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll see. I'm not really sure exactly.
Regardless, I think that's pretty much all we have to say about these ones, so let's go ahead and see what you guys had to say.
Yeah, let's get into it now. Okay, now it's time to read what you guys have to say about Hunter x Hunter 1999 episodes 81 and 82. Usual reminder, if you want to get in on the fun discussing any given content week to week, make sure you keep an eye out on the YouTube community post, as well as the call-out post on Twitter and Bluesky. And of course, if you want to email us any of your thoughts, you can do so at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com. So, starting off first today with Milu Kitty from Bluesky. Hi, I'm extremely late. I don't know if I'm on time. Oh well, I'll try. You are on time. Don't worry.
Yes.
How was your week, guys?
Not bad, I guess.
It was a week. Admittedly, not my. I felt pretty sluggish throughout most of this week, a little off. So I'm not really sure why even, but made it through. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, live to see another one, I guess.
That's right. Moving on to the content, though. Episode 81. Killua is back with his hunter license. Bluesky angry because they didn't include her in the conversation. She's so real.
We've all been there.
Yeah. We've all been there for sure. So real that she turned them into stick figures, too.
Yeah.
Shaunark, my boy, he's so wrong. He holds Krollo in a very high esteem.
Yeah, that's my favorite part about that scene, is just how he's just completely wrong. Like, we spend that whole scene listening to him yap, and he's not even right.
Just glazing Krollo the entire time. That Hisoka has to step out from the shadow and be like, dude, no.
Yeah. Sit down, little bro.
It's funny knowing beforehand who's really using his name. Kurapika is back. Yeah, for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah. He was back, though. Neon's room is a mess. It's like she's been looking physically for something. I think it's a neat detail. Her dad, on the other hand, has paperwork ruined and some cans and bottles on the floor as if he's breaking his contracts or something like that. These details give an amazing subtext that helps to catch what's going on in the Lestrade family. Yeah, I mean, it's very clearly like I love environmental storytelling in general, and that really like it hits a home run with like showing like the family's been kind of fucked since Kurolo stole the ability.
Yeah. I wish we gotten one more scene like this before we saw Kurapika again. Like, I wish there was some excuse to just cut to Kurapika for a second during Chimera Ant so we could get, like, a little in-between thing, but nope.
Nope. Intentionally left in the dark, unfortunately. Back in Greed Island, I like how they comment if saying the name of the technique out loud is detrimental for the user or not. It's a fun debate for sure. Yeah, just a nice little comedic moment there. Let's go and get some cards. Oh no, here it goes. Gambling addict Killua. He's lucky he has normal friends.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, I think if all of his other friends there were gambling addicts as well, there might not be a rest of the series.
Yeah.
I'm afraid you'll close the comments while I'm watching the next episode, so I'll post this now and the next episode later. Well, you got him. Episode 82. I like how Togashi decided to put gambling as such a deadly problem, literally. They're saying a lot of cards names and not explaining a single one. It bothers me a little. Yep, that is the classic thing about this entire section for me, is that they just speedrun through all these like seemingly very important cards and they don't spend time on any of them.
Yeah, it becomes just meaningless flavor text at that point. Like, why should I feel anything?
Mm-hmm. And that's why I think for a lot of people there's a massive disconnect for this arc. Like I don't know. There's not a whole lot to latch onto through like the mechanisms of this arc, if that makes sense. I think in 2011 I knew a little more about most of the cards during this scene. I wouldn't doubt that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Damn Killua, little sadist, I'm sure. He could have won in some not so twisted way, but nonetheless, he won. Road to Razor. Is he training in a puddle of his own sweat? Put this freak in a shower.
He does need a shower.
He probably smells so bad, dude. Have you thought about that?
Yeah, he probably reeks.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mila Kitty, for writing in, though.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, next up is insert name. Who says? This batch is absolutely insane from a visual department. The first and most glaring aspect is the insane choice to have complete flat backgrounds that characters are walking in front of. There is no sense of perspective because the backgrounds lack any sense of depth. Characters are just dragged up and down the screen but don't have any of the natural signs of depth. When they zoom out, they just drag the train slowly across the screen as a cheap way to avoid animating it. Oh.
Oh. I actually didn't catch that one, but I really do not doubt this at all.
Yeah. The result is a train just slowly being dragged up away towards a mountain like children tracking their toy car over a picture. Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Or the ending scene of episode 3 where they walk off into the woods. It's especially obvious because they don't get smaller like they should, making it seem like they are walking aggressively upwards as opposed to away. It's genuinely amateur hour, and I'm genuinely shocked they let this stay as is. Well, it's a low-budget production.
They were about to
Evidently.
slip through the cracks, yeah.
Every time they do running scenes, the backgrounds are looped, anytime they do running scenes, the backgrounds are looped or stay static, but the characters run in place. I assume is what you meant to type.
I think so.
It also doesn't help that many of the idle animations for the walking are comical. Take Kurapika, who looks like he was attempting a half-hearted flossing dance with each step with Melody joining in on the fun. All right, sure. That's awesome. Another thing that bugs me is that Gon and Killua's designs feel so stiff that when they do gag material, it feels entirely disconnected from the series. Yeah, I do agree. The gags stand out, but it also makes them funnier in that regard because of
Yeah,
the stark contrast in designs.
I think that's why those work for me as well as they do when they do come up here. It's like
Yeah.
it feels like they're leaning into it almost, you know.
Mm-hmm. There are gag versions and there are some serious versions of the characters, and they never feel one of the same. That's pretty common, I think.
Yeah.
This causes the scenes to feel totally isolated from each other, and it feels like it's halting each scene when they switch in a jarring way. If the designs or animations were made more fluid instead of static, they could seamlessly switch between the two. But as is, their idol reactions feel stoic, and their comedy reactions feel non-diegetic and disconnected from the normal behavior. It all blends poorly. I don't really mind, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't think I have a problem with that at all. If I'm being completely honest,
Yeah.
because again, I think it just kind of it makes the comedic version stand out in a way that just makes them funnier, and they're not supposed to be connected. I think really to what they're supposed to feel disconnected. I think is what I'm trying to get at from my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I agree completely. This is in so many anime, by the way. Like, that's a very common thing, I feel. Just, like, making the animation or the character designs really low detail during comedy scenes.
Yeah, I mean, even as like anime of today, like I can think of like if you guys have been watching the new Jujutsu Kaisen season at all, the moment with Takaba, you know the one that I'm talking about. Like that's
Exactly.
a perfect like example of like that just like works, and that's extremely common, I think.
Mm-hmm. The camera work is also nonsensical. If I addressed every insane zoom or framing, we'd be here all day. But let's say it's especially bad when Team Sesgera and Genther meet up. Yes. Yeah, digital zooming is also a very common thing in this series, given the advent of digital animation. And you can tell because, yeah, they zoom in on a frame that was not drawn to be zoomed in on, and you can just see the lack of detail right in front of your head with Sesgera and his crew there. Very bad idea. Okay, let's do this more chronological. Episode 3. You never talk about episode 4, it looks like, so that's very interesting. Oh, wait, no, your comment continues. Sorry, I thought I got yours in one screenshot for some reason. My bad. I really dislike the matte look of the train at the beginning of the episode. It just has too much of a matte, uninterrupted surface in a way that makes it look synthetic and fake. Cannot read today.
It's okay.
They mentioned that's good. Okay, this will be a great segment.
Yeah, you can make fun of us in the comments. Please do.
Yeah. They mentioned blackout curtain here, and I can't help but feel like even if they did mention the spell, it is definitely not well enough explained here. I don't think they ever explained it, but I could be misremembering.
I mean, I think they don't explain like 75% of the cards in general, but
Even like a company, I honestly don't think there's been a line where they've said what a company does in this anime.
There hasn't. You just kind of have to like
assume,
intuit it, from context clues.
Wow. Honestly, it and a lot of spells, particularly those with a function described in this batch, are not given adequate visual or verbal support for their comprehension by the viewer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even like in these episodes, especially when they're talking about like clone and transform as much as they are, they have never explained the functions of those really either.
No, yeah, you're right.
Which makes those sections when it's like an important talking point so hard to follow for anybody, I think, because they just never gave the time to actually like lay a single fundamental, thing down for those cards.
Yeah, I know, it's so weird. The Crollo Hisoka reveal is really interesting to me because my first reaction to watching it was this can't possibly be how it's done in other versions. When I watched it for the first time and going back, I checked both the manga and 2011 for comparison. only to find that it's very similar across all versions, which is shocking to me because they feel so different. In particular, something about 99's version feels icky and wrong, like the pacing is all off despite it objectively being so similar. In the manga, this is all part of one chapter, and while there still would be a flip turn and a page flip turn, I assume, in a manga, it's mostly fluid and continuous. There is one page difference between her punching them and the troop continuing the idea. In the OVA, it's 55 seconds. That's a long time to adapt an idea that's supposed to take a single page. It breaks up the whole flow of the scene. Where it gets interesting is 2011. In my mind, 2011 did the scene the exact same way as the manga, seamlessly melding the two scenes. In some ways, the soundtrack continues across the scenes, for example, making them continuous. But more importantly, they cut the part about Bluesky explaining Nen exorcism, and I believe they move it later to have Kurapika say it. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I do remember that in 2011. This is honestly a brilliant decision, IMO. It streamlines the whole affair and prevents the transition to Bluesky, Bluesky punches them onto the troop. Bluesky punches them onto the troop, making it feel just as fast as the source. Something about Hisoka's voice is off, and I can't figure it out though. Yeah, I'm glad you agree.
Yeah. Okay. We all have noticed it then. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know what the soundtrack they put over the Kurapika scene is, but I want to say, I want to buy it so I can burn it with fire. It's so annoying. I don't remember it at all. It's so out of place and not correct to the tone. Also, the shadows in the hallway as they walk to Nostrad are all wrong. They aren't standing in the sun at high noon. They shouldn't have tiny shadows beneath them. It should be behind them. I missed these. Insert name.
Yeah, the shadow comments. Let's go. We're still back.
But because they have, because the hallway is a flat image, they can't do that, or else it messes up their light that is embedded in the background. Also, the triangle shadows are back, baby, and worse than ever. At least the shadows themselves look decent before. Now they look hella cheap. Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Triangle shadows.
Something about the build-up of Jajanken feels off here. It just doesn't feel as satisfying. Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what it is? Because, like, in 2011, literally every time he uses it, he, like, puts, like, a lot of, like it sounds like the voice actor puts in a lot of, like, making it sound like there's, like, a lot of effort being built up into, like, performing the attack, right? But here, the very first time that Gon says it, it's literally just, like, you know, first comes rock, and, like, he just, like, says it, like, in that tone. Like, it's not like he's, like, putting in effort to, like, actually build up the attack, you know? And I think that's the difference maker.
Yeah, you're right. It just doesn't have as much oomph.
Yes, exactly.
Why did they start using that card transition now? I think it's just because they're looking for cards. I don't think it's, like, a new thing across all episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It's also moderately disorienting with the image and a rotating image changing as it rotates. I thought it was cool. Okay, on to whatever the loving fuck is going on in the tree scene. I don't know where to start. Yeah. Why are we superimposing a wrecking ball over Jajanken? Not the comparison to it I would make, and it certainly isn't necessary since we are going to see how much force it has. Also, the punch is just awkward in its anatomy. Yep. And what the fuck is that vibrating tree? Why is the dude vibrating? Why is the screen vibrating? The thing I'm most looking forward to is seeing how in the world you're going to explain what I am watching to the people who haven't seen this shit. Like, it is hard to represent how comedically bad this looks. They rotate the tree 45 degrees left and right at speed. I'm not even kidding. I'm laughing just thinking about it as I try to write this. It's so dumb.
Yeah, if you guys, we might not have done it justice just how truly bad that scene in particular looked. I highly recommend if just watching that for yourself if you haven't seen it, obviously, because it looked awful. It truly looked abysmal.
Yeah, it was abysmal. It was so bad. At least with the guy, when they vibrate two images of him, they make one translucent, but that's not quality. True.
Moving on with the rest of the vibrating tree comment here, along with the rest of insert names comment. Of course, this display of vibrational energy is followed by a looping image of beetles falling in perfectly spaced straight lines, as beetles are known to fall from trees in perfectly spaced, within a distinctly separating vertical axis.
True.
Also, of course, the most effective way to show a person being in so much disbelief they drop their pipe is to keep them out of the shot and just show the pipe landing on the ground without context. We all know this.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he just died of shock, man. That's how we're supposed to read it. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene was really rough.
He vibrated violently, like so hard that like he just died, like from shock after that. That's what happened. So stupid. Oh my god. The following montage is not only needlessly long, but also involves some terrible looking punches and kicks with aura in a nebulous void. I'm not even sure they are saving money by doing this. They are animated and that takes time. That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Risky Dice gets a section of its own because it concerns me and it spans both episodes. What? Why does the actual Risky Dice look considerably more detailed than anything else in the entire show? And why does every scene it's in fucking insane? I can't tell if this means you like how Risky Dice looks or not. I'm gonna keep reading
Let's see.
Why do, whenever the Risky Dice collide with an object, they impose an invisible flat plane that it bounces off of, despite not being in the same plane as the object it should be colliding with, that is part of the background? Like when Genthu catches it in his hand. Not to mention the fucking shadows. When it does, they're like considerably lower and to the left of where it lands. I can tell you were like angry writing this part.
Yeah,
in particular.
for sure.
It does look jank as fuck, though. I think that's the point you're getting across. Why does it bounce like a bouncy ball going up to Genthu's knee when it collides with the grass? Not one in the production staff has ever used a dodecahedron ever, clearly. D20, by the way, if you guys don't know what that word is.
Yeah.
The only positive thing that this reminds me is I need to print up another Risky Dice to have a matching OVA in 2011 looking one for my collection.
Hell yeah.
I think a physical Risky Dice would actually be like a pretty cool like
That would be
memorabilia
cool.
thing.
I wonder if there's like official merch of that.
Maybe. But yeah, Risky Dice was something, alright. It looked insane. Not in a good way to me, also.
There was a Ichiban Kuji product.
Oh wow. The more you know. I'll need to be on the lookout for that at some point.
Oh my god, it goes for like $80 on the aftermarket. Oh, for one die.
Holy shit for a Risky Dice?
That's crazy.
That's wild. Okay, well. Yeah, maybe I don't need that, you know. But
It does look nice though.
I bet.
5% off.
Soon. 5% off. Alright, moving on to episode 4. Cards transforming looks so bad in this version. Yes, they do. But I didn't really feel the need to call that out particularly. Boy, does Genthu's face look stupid in this version. And boy, does its design change a lot. I don't know what is up with his neck. When he's talking about Lucky Alexandra, he also has so much more shadows, causing his body to look like it's made of putty in that scene. Putty Genthu.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I hate this episode, but I'll forgive one thing. They got something about geology right. That is the correct color of Alexandrite under those conditions. Alexandrite color shifts and it should be greenish blue during the day. Unfortunately, when they show it during the meeting, they don't switch the color despite it being night. So fuck you, Grid Island OVA, your geology knowledge sucks.
Yeah, true.
Dear God, the flashing white during the Kazul scene. Also, the guy's name should definitely be Kadzul. It's so much easier to say. I love that they have to remind the viewers who he is. LOL. I mean, otherwise, yeah, I would have been like, who the fuck is that guy?
Yeah.
Like, for sure, you know? Bisky's nose looks so low on her face in some scenes. It's closer to her mouth than eyes, and that's not how faces work. But there's usually some leeway there. But the nose should almost never look like it's touching the fucking lip.
Okay.
The layering during the ambush is so messed up. They made it grass a flare plane, and they're standing on it like they are at a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, the perspective was really off on that scene.
As was with most scenes in this episode, unfortunately. How Levy? I think, yeah, Levy looks so pathetic. They stay still the whole time, and the itsy bitsy amounts of energy that comes out, comes out to be siphoned off. And why is that? Why is it in a tiny ball? I actually don't remember this scene at all.
No, I don't either. Actually, I have no idea.
Huh. Wow. The transitioning to the Coswell's Alliance meeting is interesting. I also don't remember that.
No, I don't either.
For real. I'm sorry. Insert name. Can we not go through each card he lacks one by one?
Yeah, for real.
Why do we need the team going lead forward reaction? Team going lead forward reaction. Lean forward reaction? Probably. I don't know.
You were pissed off.
Yeah, clearly. These episodes were not good. They cut a lot of the dialogue during the Coswell's Alliance scene. Not having her reluctantly reveal the way they figured out to gimmick the game in particular stands out for its exclusion. Gon shows a lot of character in that scene, and it showcases how people are exploiting the rules of the system. Overall, it feels very rushed. Yeah, it does feel rushed, for sure. When they walk into the bar, the sound effect for walking, instead of layering in more footsteps, they just sped the track up. Yes! I forgot to talk about that. Oh my god, did you notice that too, Kaige?
I did, yeah.
It made it sound extremely fucking loud, and I thought my headset was broken for a second when I was watching it.
It was so loud. I wasn't looking fully at the screen during that scene, and when that happened, what the hell? I thought my speakers were broken or something. I had to check to see if the volume didn't get blasted up.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I cannot believe I forgot to mention that, because that genuinely spooked me.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
First, booze doesn't magically land in a perfect circle. Second, the fire looks so bad.
I told you, it's his Nen ability.
Yeah, an alcohol circle. That's an inability. The way Killua breaks the booze bottle is so cool. Sure.
Yeah, sure, why not?
we end off on a positive note for this train wreck of episodes. Yeah, woohoo!
Let's go.
Thank you, though. Insert name. Appreciate the comments as always.
Thank you. Next up is from Magitech, who says, Killua does feel like the type of guy that would lose his license randomly. In that sense, he's probably more akin to Jing and Kite than we give him credit for. True. Episode 81. I know Killua is the only one with gaming experience, but it's so funny to think that without him, these two would have no idea what the heck to do in this game. Regardless, that's how they find that Crollo is in the game, and they're not the only ones. At the same time, Shalnark has deduced that the suspected perpetrator.
You got it. You got there.
I was trying to say preparator or some shit.
Preparator. This is another dispatch moment.
No, not like that. Did you see the comment, by the way, that said some guy said that was like a smiling friends conversation?
I rewatched that section of the episode after reading that, and it really did sound like it.
It did.
Anyway, where were we at?
Suspected perpetrator possesses a circumstance that is incongruous to previous testimonies. There's a lot of big words in that sentence. Wow. AK, an imposter. like in like Among Us.
Oh,
What?
Among Us, Among Us.
Among Us. Oh my god. And speaking of, it's Hisoka. And just let me assure you, yes, in Latin America, this Hisoka is still French.
Huh.
Nice.
Nice.
So wait, Latin America got a dub? That's crazy.
Oh,
That's
wait a
like
minute.
one of
Yeah, I didn't even
very
think about the
few.
implications of that sentence there. Oh, wow.
There's like no dubs for this OVA, like period. That's crazy that you guys got one.
Wow.
I had no idea. And speaking of surprise visits, it's Kurapika. I've always liked how Neon spins her pen in this scene. Yeah, it does look cool, actually. Since that has always been a bit of a quirk of her when using her ghostwriter, though the real problem is light. Must say his facial expressions here is not great. 2011 did better. Yeah, I love this scene in 2011 so much. They capture his just complete despair in a really, really good way. I love that scene. But both pale in comparison to the manga. There, he truly looks like a broken man at the edge of a full collapse. Yeah, I mean, obviously. Manga's always best. Togashi's very good at drawing despair. That's one of his best things. I wonder if we'll ever know the full story of what happened to him and Neon after this. I hope so.
Surely we wrap that up with a bow at some point, right? But knowing Togashi, could
Dude, you
also
never
just
know. It's
ignore
Togashi.
it completely. Yeah, it's done. Yeah, I don't know.
Next, we get Gon showing Killua his brand new technique, and I'm glad that this comes after Neon because it showcases something Togashi alluded with her. Not all conditions are Nen conditions. We saw it first with Neon. Not wanting to read the fortune she writes, and now here, Gon proclaiming first comes rock is 100% mechanically unnecessary, and is there just because he likes it. We even see something like this at present time with Benolanov and his metamorphosin. Is that what that ability's called?
Metamorphosin.
I'll believe you.
Sure.
It's funny how Nen can be this very intricate system where everything has a reason, but also at times it's just a habit / quirk of the user. Yeah, I'm a big fan of that too. It's really cool. So we now start card hunting, and dear God, okay, the imagery of Gon as a wrecking ball was okay and manga accurate. Okay, I was right. That wasn't the manga.
Okay.
I actually remembered something from the manga for once.
Whoa.
Somebody give me a pat on the back. Oh my god, I deserve it. That never happens.
Amazing.
Wow. I'm actually really proud of myself for that one.
Good job, Kaige. Good job. That's a really like niche thing to remember.
I
too,
know.
I feel like.
That's
So
why I'm
pretty
so
good.
proud. I can't
pretty
believe
cool.
I remembered that. But by Bungie Gum, the animation here, by God,
Bye.
that's funny. The animation here is so whack, it's hilarious. Yes, that scene was absolutely absurd. Okay, the combination of Chibi Killua sending the card flying alongside and very subdued trumpet OST unironically cracks me up. Yeah, I really did like that whole scene with the gold girl or whatever she was called, gold dust girl.
It's very, very short, but you know, it worked.
Yeah. Next to Doria, but before a stop to win. Oh, is Doria the gambling town? I didn't even know it had a name, honestly. What's the most useful card of this whole arc? Paladin's Necklace. Also, I wish 2011 included the part of Biscuit gathering info. It's not that long, and it shows more of her character and why she likes her disguise so much. True. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's something we glossed over, how she, like, her using that persona kind of helps her get information because she can play, like, the pity card. Like, oh, I'm just a lost girl trying to get out of here. It probably really comes in handy, actually. We continue, and the bad animation is not the only problem now. The backgrounds look generic and uninspired. Was it really that hard to do some more for the casino? That did look very bland, yeah, compared to 2011 in particular. So that the part of the slot machine exploding could make sense. I can only imagine how difficult this production must have been. Yeah, I know. You gotta have some sympathy. So, after beating an off-screen casino king and getting knocked out, our episode ends at the same point that in 2011. Funny, since that is the only half point of the manga chapter. That is only the half point of the manga chapter. That's interesting. Episode 82, we start with a new favorite character of this channel, Motorike, at the mercy of the bombers. Oh my god, I forgot we literally just talked about that too.
That was
the same guy. Yep.
Oh my god, we forgot, dude.
Dude,
Holy
we
shit.
already forgot. Oh my god, I'm sorry, Motorike.
No.
I'm so sorry.
So sorry, Motorike. That makes the despair that he had like make even more sense now, like how they did in the anime, because they made me sympathize for him in the first appearance in this adaptation too.
I know.
Damn.
Our poor buddy.
Oh, poor Motorike.
I'll remember you next time. We'll see about that.
Next time.
I think he has one more appearance. Yeah, he'll remember he gets turned into Sub and or Bara later.
Oh yeah. Okay, one more time.
Yeah. And Lady Luck and Good on the OVA showing how horrified and desperate he is. Especially that final part of him in fetal position. And besides that, we're jumping through plot points again. We didn't even see the conversation with Sesgera wanting an exchange, making part. Yeah, they just cut out like the build up to that exchange. We just saw like the exchange happen. Making that part of getting through throwing the dice himself lack any context. You're right. What the hell?
That's so stupid. Whatever, man.
Also, and this is a non sequitur, but in the manga, Genthru states that the Bellum brothers, the two randos that Gon and Killua beat at the end of the arc, just for laughs, are of the few teams that have S rank cards. Weird, I know. That's interesting. We jump again to Castle and the big discussion about Genthru finishing the game, and this part is shortened in both adaptations, but especially here. But at least Killua's impeccable relationship with women shines through as always. Jumping right afterwards, we meet Bopobo, and at least this part looks okay. The blue fire is a nice touch. Zeho looks a bit weird, but very detailed as his expressions are good, including the part of Biscuit acting her role is definitely a plus. Yes, I love that scene a lot. It was really funny. But animation be the bane of this batch, so it's all downhill after Killua acts. And so our episode comes to an end with our team finally meeting Razor. And in conclusion, let me finish with the following Humilde Jose Curev Anejo. If you're wondering if that's well-written Spanish, the answer is no, but I'll try to decipher it. Humilde. Yeah. Which could be a fancy way to say humble. Sorry, the text is very small.
I'm at the zoom in, buddy.
Humilde or humble? What is humilde? Is that an English word?
I read that as just humilde again, but I mean, yeah, it's basically humble still though.
Okay. Okay. I see. They're saying the Spanish word for it.
Yes.
And then the English. Okay. My bad. I thought you were saying like two synonyms of each other, both in English. For either bad grammar or trademark reasons, that would be just drink it. Just the drink in question. That would be the drink in question. Oh, I'm sorry. I understand now what you were talking about. This is the text on the bottle that Killua smashes to get the alcohol out of. Okay. I see. Jose Curev, which I guess they ran out of space for the O at the end for Carevo, which would be the brand. Anejo is the only part that's spelled well, and in context means that the alcohol has been properly aged. We put that all together, and it'd be Humilde. Humilde. Vintage selection by Joseph Raven.
Okay. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
That is actually pretty fun. I wish I could have read it more cleanly. My bad, but that is interesting. Next time on Hunter x Hunter, game lost, regroup, game starts.
The game will start.
I see. All
right. So, Final comment that we'll be starting today is from Phil Millmore. I look up the opening on YouTube to check it out, and it certainly wasn't what I was expecting, especially with the flying. Yep, that sums that up.
Yeah.
I guess that's theoretically what happens when players use transport cards, and they probably took inspiration from the image on the accompany card. But an extended sequence of the characters flying still just feels goofy. Overall, though, I didn't hate it, probably because my expectations were so low. The song is definitely very unmemorable, though. I mean, it's a combination of everything with that opening still. Like, I watched it again whenever I started the episodes for this week, and I was like, okay, like, I'll give the opening another, like, shot, I guess, you know? No, it's still just as bad to me, though.
It's pretty bad.
The flat color backgrounds are so bad, man. I can't get over it.
The song just doesn't hit, too.
Mm-hmm.
It just sounds bad. I don't know.
Well, it's also a song to me. It feels like it's like building up and up and up to something, and then it just like doesn't.
Yeah, never does. Yeah.
All right, episode 3. This episode is insanely 1-to-1 with the manga. There were only 3 instances of any omissions being made, and they were all minor. The only addition, beyond extra visuals or pacing changes, was the filler train scene at the beginning. Oh, the more you know. There you go. Somehow, I'm still not used to Hisoka's 1999 voice. It sounds to me like the vocal equivalent of someone rubbing a balloon.
Here it does, yeah. I'm telling you, he's just hamming it up so much in this episode for some reason.
Maybe it'll get cleaned up next episode.
Maybe.
Hisoka's outfit feels so empty, and the way he walks isn't helping. He's missing the designs and symbols that should be on that outfit, so he looks like he's only half-dressed. I thought Hisoka held himself to a higher standard of fashion than that.
For real.
Just doesn't care now, I guess. They cut out Melody's dialogue so that they wouldn't have to get the voice actors back. Makes sense, but it did feel weird that the entire interaction happened in silence. Also, the pacing of that scene was just really slow.
Yeah.
Last we see of Neon until her fate is hopefully addressed sometime in the future.
Please.
Or it's not. It could just as likely not be, unfortunately.
I know.
That card spin transition was funny, to be honest. Stupid stuff like that is why I still feel affectionately toward these OVAs, despite their many flaws. It was a fine little transition, I thought.
I like
I
it.
didn't really feel a whole lot towards it, to be honest, but it is unique, certainly. Ha ha ha, peak visual presentation. The overlay of construction equipment, close-up shaky shots, the tree shivering and vibrating in place, and a looped still image of bugs to make it look like they're falling. Perfection.
Yes.
I'm glad we're all on board with that looking like dog shit.
It really did.
They did the spinning card transition again. I hope they do that for the rest of the OVA, even at serious moments. I want Armless Gon to spin out into a shitty card graphic in a future episode. Unfortunately, I didn't notice it being used at any point in episode 4, but the idea of it being bizarrely exclusive to this one episode almost makes it funnier.
I think it's just because it was like a montage of them looking for different cards, I think is why it was used in this episode in particular.
That's the impression I get too. They actually cut out some information about Paladin's necklace here. Skipping it is the first notable departure from the manga in the entire episode. Bluesky brings up concerns about its limited use, it having been won from a tournament and being likely non-revertible. But Killua explains that since it's a D-rank card, they can use Recycle on it. This is good news. This good news is what causes them to cheer at the end of the scene. Huh. But they cut that out. That is interesting, yeah.
So they're kind of just implying that it has infinite use in the anime, so they don't have to think about that part, I guess.
Huh. It doesn't really harm anything, I guess, but that is bizarre, for sure.
Yeah.
This transition scene of the boys just kind of punching at nothing in a void is the adaptation of a single transitional panel from the manga. Okay.
Interesting.
The boys are shown gaining these 3 cards in some abstract way. In the manga, it works as the summary of a montage, but here, it's just kind of strange. The fact that even this panel was adapted 1-to-1 supports the conclusion that the manga was used as a storyboard of sorts, even at times when it didn't really work. That is an interesting observation or theory for that.
Yeah.
A card trading scene was cut, maybe because they felt the interaction with Kazuo was redundant, given they'd meet up next episode anyway. Still, I always liked the scene for being abrupt and realistically anticlimactic. LOL, this entire episode, they've had scenes play out of line, or play out line for line. Jesus, I can't read. How they did in the manga, but they excluded the moment of Killua giving the Rainbow Diamond proposal card to Gon immediately after winning it. Definitely a funny panel out of context. Yeah, I that would have been a funny one for sure.
Yeah.
Seeing the ending song now, it's strange that it opens with Risky Dice floating in front of Hisoka. It really is just two still images. But yeah, it's cute. I like how cramped Hisoka looks at that tiny table. Perhaps, Hisoka, it is a sign that you should not be sitting at the kids' table. Just a thought.
Yeah.
That's a good point, actually.
That could be intentional. I don't know if 99's smart enough for that, but that was mean. I'm sorry.
It was low-hanging fruit. It's okay.
Episode 4. It's the return of the guy who failed to steal Killua's card a few weeks ago. A tragedy what became of him. The 3D dice and the 2D hand stuck out so bad. On a positive note, though, I feel as though the faces of the main trio have been more consistent and polished this episode compared to the ones that preceded. Yes, actually, I guess you're right, because they were wildly inconsistent before, but they are still pretty inconsistent. I guess it's better this time around, though. I had no memory of Sub and Bara popping out of the ground like gophers, but I checked, and they actually do indeed do that. Great. I wonder how. I believe there have been quite a few cutscenes in between the previous episode and this one. This episode is considerably less identical to the chapters than the previous was. Can't say I loved hearing that sound effect play a dozen times in a row, but I do like this side quest. The 99 Classic. It's a clever way of using Paladin's necklace and bringing up a plot point from the beginning of the arc. It also indicates, perhaps for the first time, that Jing wanted to reward benevolence in this game at least a little bit.
Yeah, wait a minute. Jing might be more of a softie than you're leading on.
Sometimes. I don't prefer the castle scene overall, but I do prefer significantly Asta's depiction in this scene over 2011. Asta, yeah. They called her Oster in the 99 subs. Or Aster. Even though I'm typically a 2011 defender, I feel her irrationality was exaggerated, and the jiggle physics they gave her were impossible to ignore. Yes, that's a very classic thing about 2011. I don't know why they made her jiggle so much. They got bored in the office that day.
Wow. Yeah.
Fan service is fan service, yeah, but that choice bothered me for two reasons. One, adding it where it didn't exist in the source material reflects badly, or at least inaccurately, on the author, in my subjective opinion. Yes, it does. That is a very common issue with anime adaptations in general.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at One Piece. Oda's not great at drawing women, but Toei does not do him any favors, man. Holy.
My God, don't get me started on that train, please, dude. Holy shit. Toei has a problem in their offices, dude.
They do. They really do. 2, sexualizing her while she is actively being made to look foolish by a middle schooler is crazy. Then she dies off screen. LMAO. The life of Asta. Personal irks aside, the presentation of her as overly snooty and irrational had the effect of bringing her down to the bickering level of a child, when the intent was rather to show that Killua, a child, has enough skill as a tactician to negotiate with an adult. In essence, being a female viewer, I don't mind at all the lack of women in most arcs of Hunter x Hunter. Today I learned Fillard Millmore is a woman. My bad. I've probably misgendered you before, to be honest.
Whoa. Yeah, our bad. That's
very sorry about that.
Really, really sorry about that, actually. Damn.
I mean, with a name like Fillard Millmore, can you blame us?
That's true.
On the author, in my subjective opinion. Oh, wait, that is not the line I'm on at all. Whoops. I don't at all mind the lack of women in most arcs of Hunter x Hunter. I just don't want the ones that do exist to be done badly. And 2011 Asta is just so annoying. For those reasons, subjective and nitpicky though they may be, this Asta is my preference. However, this scene is so condensed and skips over a lot of the actual conversation, so my praise can only extend so far. Killua is crazy for being so opportunistic at a time like this, especially given most of these people are about to explode. By the way, this scene momentarily features pregnancy stones, everyone's favorite card. I noticed. I meant to bring it up. I forgot. Yes,
Damn.
pregnancy stones were there.
They were there. Every believer in that theory flock to the comments now.
Tell us all about it again. We've never heard it before, guys.
Never ever. The unknown
Nobody's
theory.
ever said it. Yeah, brand new. I discussed that theory with someone recently, and they said they'd be legitimately upset if it turns out not to be true. Bro, come on. What?
They exist?
That's crazy. That is crazy. I can understand being like indifferent towards it, but being upset if it's not true is crazy. Wow. I don't get it, but okay. If Jing Mpreg means that much to you, I guess. It's important. So important. The sound effects for the muscle enhancement and the fight are so gross. Yeah. Stretching rubber and popping. I think they've done a pretty good job with this sequence. They paced it well, and the reflected blue light looked cool. Yeah, it did look pretty cool, actually. But not animated super well, but it looked good, at least.
At least compared to the sum of the rest of the parts. So,
yeah.
There's that.
Can you fill it more for the comment? And sorry for almost certainly having misgendered you at some point in the past.
Yeah, definitely apologies for if that did happen before, but thank you for bumping up the female watcher analytics on the channel. That
Yeah,
goes a long way.
Yeah, that's also another fair reason I think we have to assume you're a male. If you saw those analytics, wow.
Yeah, it would be as bad as you would imagine. I think.
It's
male to
pretty
female
insane.
ratio. Yeah, but no, thank you for writing in as always, though. Really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And with that, we're done with community comments for this week. Thank you to everybody that wrote in. And if you want to get in on the fun week to week, make sure you keep an eye out for these YouTube community posts, as well as the call-out posts on Twitter and Bluesky. And of course, you can still email us if you so please at hunterassociationpod@gmail.com.
That's right. And with that, this has been the Hunter Association. Thank you so much for listening. You are available on all major podcasting platforms, apparently.
Oh, you are available.
You
Don't
are.
forget it.
Don't forget, you're there, guys. We are available on all major podcasting platforms as well as YouTube for the video version. Be sure to follow, rate, review, and comment on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on Twitter at TXHXAPod as well as Bluesky at THAPod for updates on the show as an alternative way to submit responses to the weekly call-out posts. As always, we're here at the same time every week talking about Hunter x Hunter. Dylan, where can people find you online?
You can find me online at DJ Tengen. That's DJTENGEN on both Twitter and Bluesky. Go give me a follow if you're interested in what I'm up to.
And you can find me on Bluesky and YouTube at Manga Kaige. Just did a video about One Piece Season 2. And, Shonen Jump, obviously, every week. Check it out.
Yeah. Make some good content as always. Go check them out. You talking about Chainsaw Man Part 2 anytime soon?
Yes, I need to stew on that for a little bit, but I do want to make a video on it. Probably next month.
Very much looking forward to that one.
All right, that's all we got for the show this week. Next week is character retrospective time. It's the beginning of the month, so we decided to do Razor next week.
Mm-hmm.
So this will probably be a shorter episode than we're used to, unless we get a lot of comments, which is possible. I know Razor is a fan favorite, so we'll see. But in terms of our discussion about him, I have to imagine it probably won't be any longer than an hour, if that even.
Yeah, so don't expect like a 2-hour long masterpiece like some other character retrospectives that we've done. This is be a bit of an experiment for both of us. It's been a little while since we had a potentially like pretty short podcast episode, but bring in as much comments as you can for Razor going to next week. That we'll put up that community post whenever we get to it next like Monday or so, right? Or this upcoming Monday rather. And yeah, we hope to see you there. It'll be a good time.
Absolutely. And yeah, I mean, this is a character we both really love, so I think the discussion will still be good, despite it being a smaller character.
And very fitting as well for the episodes we're about to get into. So,
yes,
out.
Absolutely. All right, that's all we got this week. Thank you for listening or watching, and we will see you next week. Take it easy, guys.
Take care, everybody.